What's going on, everybody? So it's time to go over the NFL free agency tracker so far. I wanted to wait until it became official today rather than Monday because a couple years ago, the New York Jets actually agreed to a contract with linebacker Anthony Barr. And then the day that it became official, would have been official, he pivoted and he changed. He said, I'm going back to Minnesota. So last thing I wanted to do was make a blunder like that. So I wanted to wait until today, until things became official, negotiation period, and players could actually sign and other negotiations could become official as well. So I'm going to go over every team and the moves that they've made so far. Moving forward, I'll give you the list of all the other free agents that have signed because there's a player that haven't signed yet. So we'll keep updating that on future videos. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're a football fan, and especially if you enjoy the content. I greatly appreciate it. And hit the like button as well. So let's get to it, okay? And remember, this is what we're focusing on right here, the free agent tracker for the NFL, okay? And guys, bear with me because this is probably going to be a couple minutes because there's a lot of teams, a lot of players that have moved so far. So, Arizona Cardinals, I'm just going to read it right out to you because I have the list right here. Players: Kelvin Beachum, offensive tackle, 2 years, 15 million. Offensive guard Will Hernandez, 2 years, 9 million. Kaiser White, linebacker, 2 years, 11 million. Corey Clement, a 1 year deal, running back. Punter Matt Prater, 2 years and 7.5 million, and Zeke Turner, linebacker, for 1 year. So they're clearly trying to boost that offensive line. You got to protect Kyler Murray. So now Atlanta Falcons linebacker Lorenzo Carter, 2 years, 9 million. They also acquired Jonnu Smith from the New England Patriots. Okay, tight end. I think for a fifth round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Offensive guard Chris Lindstrom, 5 years, 105 million. This is one of the bigger outlays in free agency so far. Defensive tackle David Onyemata, 3 years, 35 million. Punter Bradley Pinion, 3 years, 9 million. Safety Jesse Bates, 4 years, 64 million. That's a big outlay for a safety. Offensive tackle Caleb McGarry, 3 years, 34 million. So they're investing in offensive protection too here. Linebacker Kalen Ellis, 3 years, 21 million. Backup quarterback Taylor Heineke, 2 years, 20 million, and fullback Keith Smith on a 1 year deal. Baltimore Ravens, and they know that they've non-exclusively franchised Lamar Jackson, but they're also negotiating, or they're allowed to negotiate with other teams now. So teams can submit trade offers to see if they can, if they're willing to acquire him. So if they're willing to trade him, so I'll keep you updated on that one as well. But that's a big one if he gets traded. But he's the best fit there too. But again, you got the non-exclusive franchise tag. I think he said it was 3 years, 130 something million, but we don't really know the details on it. But a cornerback Trayvon Mullen got a 1 year deal, and running back Justice Hall, 2 years, 5 million. So not a lot of volume. I mean, the focus here is clearly Lamar Jackson. So Buffalo Bills, Jordan Poyer, 2 year deal, safety. Quarterback Kyle Allen, somebody to back up Josh Allen, needs backup there. Guard Connor McGovern, 3 years, 23 million. Get some more quarterback protection there. Wide receiver punt return Deontay Hardy, 2 years, 13 million. Punter Sam Martin, 3 years and 7.5 million. Linebacker Tyler Matatovich, 2 years. And linebacker Matt Milano got a 2 year extension. Carolina Panthers. Von Bell's a safety, 3 years, 22.5 million. Defensive tackle Shy Tuttle, 3 years, 19.5 million. Quarterback Andy Dalton. This was a surprise. 2 years, 10 million. He's replacing Sam Darnold, so who's moved on as well. Tight end Hayden Hurst. 2 years, 21.75 million. It's a good signing. And running back Miles Sanders, 4 years, 25 million. Another solid signing. Chicago Bears, who they clearly have to protect Justin Fields, and they've traded out the number one pick in the draft to Carolina, so for some more picks, and so they'll be busy in the draft as well. Excuse me. Fullback Carrie Blasingame. If I butcher these names, I'm sorry. Excuse me. 2 year extension. DJ Moore, wide receiver, got him in a trade. Linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, 4 years, 72 million, huge deal. Nate Davis, guard, 3 years, 30 million. Got to protect quarterback. Linebacker T.J. Edwards, 3 years, 19 million. Defensive end DeMarcus Walker, 2 years, 7 million. Running back Travis Homer, 2 years, 4 million. Left safety Patrick Scales, 1 year. Cincinnati Bengals, not many moves, but linebacker Jermaine Pratt, 3 years, 21 million. Running back Trayvon Williams, figures not disclosed. Safety Michael Thomas, 1 year. Cleveland Browns. Remember, not a lot of these teams had a lot of salary cap either, so that's one reason why some of these teams are not making a lot of moves. Juan Thornhill, safety, 3 years, 21 million. Defensive end Obo Okonokwo, 3 years, 19 million. Center Ethan Pokic, 3 years, 18 million. Good protection for Deshaun Watson. Defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson, 4 years, 57 million. Pretty good outlay for him. And linebacker Sione Takitaki, 1 year, 2.5 million. Dallas Cowboys, they're announced they're going to release Ezekiel Elliott too, save about 10 more million on the salary cap. They brought in running back Troy Pollard. They franchise tagged him actually. He's going to be obviously the next replacement to Ezekiel Elliott. Safety Donovan Wilson, 3 years, 24 million. Stephen Gilmore, they got in a trade today. I think from the Chargers. Cornerback Leighton Vander Esch, a linebacker, 2 years, 11 million. Tyron Smith, offensive tackle. They restructured his contract to clear up some salary room. Denver Broncos. Got to surround Russell Wilson with some people, right? Mike McGlinchey, right there, 5 years, 87.5 million. Give him some big protection. Tight end Chris Manhertz, 2 years, 6 million. Linebacker and Alex Singleton, 3 years and 18 million. Defensive end Zach Allen, 3 years, 45 million. Running backs Samaje Perine, 2 years, 7.5 million. Jarrett Stidham as a backup quarterback, 2 years, 10 million. Defensive line, then Ben Powers, 4 years, 52 million. Again, investing in protection, right? So he's offensive line, excuse me. Punter Corliss Whiteman, 1 year, 940K. Offensive line, Quinn Bailey, 1 year, 870K. Linebacker Jonas Griffith, 1 year, 940K. Fullback Michael Burton on a 1 year deal. Terms not disclosed. Detroit Lions had a pretty good offseason too so far. Isaiah Buggs, linebacker, 2 years, 4.5 million. Cam Sutton, corner, 3 years, 33 million. Linebacker Alex Assaloni, 3 years, 18 million. Running back David Montgomery, 3 years, 18 million. Corner again, Emmanuel Mosley, 1 year, 6 million. Investing in that backfield, defensive backfield. Defensive line, John Chominski, 2 years, 9.5 million. Defensive back, Will Harris, 1 year, 2.5 million. Offensive lineman, Matt Nelson. Running back, Craig Reynolds. They re-signed him. Green Bay Packers, obviously, some moves too. Well, right off the bat, Aaron Rodgers said today that he plans to be part of the Jets. They just have to figure out the compensation. But they signed cornerback Kason Nixon, 1 year, 6 million, and offensive lineman Jake Hansen to protect the new quarterback. Houston Texans, a lot of volume trades here, a lot of volume moves. Wide receiver Robert Woods, 2 years, 17 million. Defensive back Jimmy Ward, 2 years, 13 million. MJ Stewart, safety, 2 years, 7.5 million. Quarterback Case Keenum, they needed another guy there, 2 years, 6 million. Defensive tackle Hassan Ridgeway, 1 year, 4 million. Running back Mike Boone, 2 years, 3 million. Chase Winovich, defensive end, 1 year, 2.75 million. Wide receiver Noah Brown, 2 years, 2.6 million for 1 year. Guard Shaq Mason in a trade from the Buccaneers, got to protect their quarterback. Defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, 1 year, 10 million. Tight end Andrew Beck, 2 years, 6 million. And center Scott Quesenberry, they re-signed him. Indianapolis Colts, another voluminous offseason as well. Defensive end Samson Ibukem, 3 years, 27 million. Kicker Matt Gay, 4 years, 22 million. Linebacker EJ Speed, 2 years, 8 million. Wide receiver Ashton Doolin, 2 years, 7.2 million. Defensive end Tyquan Lewis, 1 year, 3 million. Wide receiver Christian Wilkerson. Center Dakota Shepley. Defensive tackle Taven Bryan, 1 year, 4 million. Jacksonville Jaguars, up and coming team. They franchise tight end Evan Engram. Defensive line Roy Robertson, 3 years, 30 million. Robertson Harris, 3 years, 30 million. Safety Andrew Wingard, 3 years, 9 million. Backup quarterback CJ Beathard, 2 years, 6 million. And Tavon Campbell on a 1 year deal. Kansas City Chiefs. Offensive tackle Jawan Taylor, 4 years, 80 million. That's a big one. More protection for the quarterback, who they need. Edge Charles Omenihu, 2 years, 20 million. Defensive line Dershawn Wharton, 1 year, 2 million. Las Vegas Raiders. Josh Jacobs, franchise tag, running back. Defensive tackle Jerry Tillery, the big one. Jimmy Garoppolo, quarterback, 3 years, 67 million. Wide receiver Jacob Myers, 3 years, 33 million. Safety Marcus Epps, 2 years, 12. Linebacker Robert Spillane, 2 years, 7 million. Corner Brendan Fakison, 2 years, 6 million. Running back Amir Abdullah, 1 year, 2 million. Tackle Brandon Parker, 1 year, 1.5 mil. Tight end Jesper Horsted. Guard Natane Muti. Fullback Jacob Johnson on a 1 year deal, and they re-signed Roderick Teamer. Los Angeles Chargers. Right tackle Trey Pipkins, 3 years, 21 million. Linebacker Eric Kendricks, 2 years, 13 million. Quarterback Easton Stick re-signed with them as a backup. Los Angeles Rams. Tight end Hunter Long, trade. Offensive linebacker Michael Host, tendered. Linebacker Christian Roseboom, tendered. And cornerback Sean Jolly, tendered. Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey, that's the big one in a trade from the Rams. Quarterback Mike White, who they pried away from the Jets, 2 years, 16 million to back up Tua. Linebacker David Long, 2 years, 11 million. Running back Jeff Wilson, 2 years, 8 million. Running back Raheem Mostert, 2 years, 6 million. Linebacker Duke Riley, 2 years, 5 million. Offensive tackle Kendall Lamb. Running back Salvin Ahmed. Defensive back Elijah Campbell. Running back Miles Gaskin on a 1 year deal. Tight end Eric Salbert, 1 year. And safety, Deshaun Elliott, 2 million, 1 year. Minnesota Vikings. Byron Murphy, cornerback, 2 years, 22 mil. Tight end Josh Oliver, 3 years, 21 mil, Garrett Bradbury, center, 3 years, 16 million. Defensive end Marcus Davenport, 1 year, 13 million. Left safety Andrew DePaula, 3 years, 4 million. Quarterback Nick Mullins, 2 years, 4 million. Craig Joseph, kicker, 1 year, 2 million. And Alexander Madison, running back, 2 years, 7 million. New England Patriots. Jabril Peppers, 2 years, 11 million. Brought him back. James Ferentz, offensive guard, 1 year, 200K. Corner Jonathan Jones, 2 years, 20 mil. Offensive tackle Riley Reef, 1 year, 5 million. Offensive tackle Calvin Anderson, 2 years. Got to protect their quarterback. Juju Smith-Schuster was the big one today. Wide receiver, 3 years, 33 million. Pried him away from Kansas City and Mahomes. Defensive tackle Carl Davis, they re-signed him. They also re-signed linebacker Raekwon McMillan and James Ferentz, offensive tackle, and offensive tackle Connor McDermott, as well as special teams Matthew Slater, all re-signed. New Orleans Saints, the big one, Derek Carr, 4 years, $150 million. That's the big one to be their new quarterback. Nathan Shepard, defensive tackle, 3 years, 15 mil. Defensive tackle Kalen Saunders, 3 years, 14 mil. Tight ends, Juwan Johnson, 2 years, 12 mil. Defensive back JT Gray, 3 years, 11 mil. Michael Thomas, restructured deal, wide receiver, 1 year, 10 mil. Quarterback Jameis Winston, 1 year, 8 mil. Defensive tackle Tano Caspagon, 2 years, 6 mil. And then Jamal Williams, running back, 3 years, 12 million. We're almost there. New York Giants had a pretty good offseason. Now, obviously, they signed their big man, 4 years, 160 million, Daniel Jones for the quarterback. They franchised Saquon Barkley for the year, but they're looking to lock him up long term. Darren Waller, they got via trade from the Raiders, a tight end. That's a big one. Bobby Okereke, 4 years, 40 million, linebacker. Defensive line, Raheem Nunez Roches, 3 years, 12 million. Punter, Jamie Gillen, 2 years, 4 million. Matt Breida, running back, 1 year, 2 million. Sterling Shepard, 1 year, $1 million, wide receiver. Linebacker, got him for a year. Jarrett Davis, wide receiver. Isaiah Hodgins for a year. And safety again, Chris Crater, 1 year. New York Jets, Alan Lazard, who was one of Aaron Rodgers' wide receiver targets in Green Bay, 4 years, 44 million. Linebacker Quincy Williams, 3 years, 18 million. Kicker Craig Zerlin, 1 year, up to 3.5 million. And Chuck Clark via trade the other day from the Ravens, safety from the Ravens. And obviously Aaron Rodgers when that becomes official. Philadelphia Eagles, they've also released today Darius Slay, cornerback. Defensive tackle Fletcher Cox, 1 year, 10 million. Cornerback James Bradbury, which is necessary, 3 years, 38 mil. Defensive end Brandon Graham, 1 year, 6 mil. Running back Boston Scott, 1 year, 2 mil. Running back Rashad Penny, 1 year, 1.35 mil. Jason Kelsey, they re-signed center, and offensive tackle Brett Toth, they re-signed him as well. Pittsburgh Steelers, defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, 3 years, 21 mil. Cornerback Patrick Peterson, 2 years, 14 mil. Guard Nate Herbig, 2 years, 8 mil. Linebacker Cole Holcomb for 3 years. 49ers of San Francisco, defensive tackle Javon Hargrave, pried him away from the Eagles, 4 years, 84 mil. Quarterback Sam Darnold, 1 year, 11 mil. Tashawn Gibson, 1 year, 2.9 mil. Safety. Safety again, Tabor Pepper, 3 years, 1.5 mil. Isaiah Oliver, cornerback. Defensive end, Clelin Farrell, 1 year. Offensive tackle, Colton Mikvitz, 2 years. Wide receiver, Juwan Jennings, tender. Defensive tackle, 1 year, Kevin Givens. And 4 year, $20 million deal for center, Jake Brendel. They've got to protect their quarterback over there, whoever that might be. Whether it's Brock or Trey or now Sam, or all three. Seattle Seahawks, quarterback, Geno Smith. They gave him the big deal, 3 years, 75 mil. Defensive tackle, Dremont Jones, 3 years, 51 mil. Defensive tackle, Jerron Reed, 2 years, 10.8 million. Guard, Phil Haynes, 1 year, 4 million. And kicker, Jason Myers, 4 years, 22 mil. So a lot of protection there. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they signed Jamel Dean, cornerback, 4 years, 52 mil. Defensive lineman, Anthony Nelson, 2 years, 11 mil. Baker Mayfield is the quarterback as a 1 year, $8 million deal. Guard, Aaron Stinney, 1 year, 2 mil. And linebacker, Levante David, 1 year, 7 mil. Tennessee Titans, Andre Dillard, offensive tackle, 3 years, 29 mil. Defensive line, Arden Key, 3 years, 21 mil. Offensive guard, center, Daniel Brunskill. Linebacker, Luke Gifford, 2 years, 5 mil. Safety, Morgan Cox, 1 year, 1 mil. Linebacker, Aziz Al-Shahir. And tackle, Daniel Brunskill on a 2-year deal. And lastly, the Washington Commanders. Defensive tackle, Darren Payne, 4 years, 90 mil. It's a big outlay. Offensive tackle, Andrew Wiley, 3 years, 24 mil. Defensive back, Danny Johnson, 2 years, 7 mil. Linebacker, Cody Barton, 1 year, 3.5 mil. Left linebacker, David Mayo, 1 year deal. Offensive line, Nick Gates, 3 years, 18 mil. A lot of offensive quarterback protection here. Wide receiver, Marcus Kemp. Jacoby Brissett, another quarterback, 1 year, 10 mil. Defensive end, Ife Obada, 1 year, 3 mil. And then Cameron, they reclaimed Cameron Dantzler, cornerback off waiver. So that's what we have right now. These are the free agent moves so far in free agency. All the other moves that come out, I'll just put videos about it every couple of days. So if you have any questions, load up the comments. Let's go.